QBE is another dominant player in its field, getting whacked around at the moment, posting a 45% drop in full-year profits to $704 million. So it's not a good swan song for outgoing CEO Frank O'Halloran. Although, as the chair of the company, Belinda Hutchinson, explains in this grab, he's not actually going out.
I am pleased that Frank's retirement as an executive will not end his long association with our company. The board is delighted that Frank has agreed to accept our offer to return to QBE as a non-executive director shortly before the 2013 annual general meeting. This will allow the company to continue to benefit from his deep understanding of insurance underwriting and investments and the global insurance industry.
So John O'Neill at QBE Insider is going to take over the reins in August, and he gave some idea of his plans.
And importantly, we're not hesitating to look at those areas where we do not think we can properly assess a price for the exposure we're being asked to take, and if we can't assess that exposure, we will let the business go. As Frank said earlier on, we're looking at bolt-on acquisitions that meet our expectations post 2 years of solid growth, but the concentration is on the existing business.
So it might just work. They only take on business where they understand the risk.
That's
what do you
right.
reckon?
Yeah, it's. I think QBE has. Look, last year was the worst year for insurance companies in 40 years. But having said that, QBE had lost its way for the last few years. You know, if you have a look at the last 12 consecutive half-yearly results, margins were down, so they fell from 22% down to 4% in the last half, which is, so it wasn't just the storms and earthquakes, etc. It was some fundamental acquisitions that were made in the United States in the last few years by Frank O'Halloran.
And that was reflected in the market. We've got a graphic of their share price here, which is when they were an incredible outperformer. They're right back to the market now. I mean, do you think that Frank hung around too long?
I'm not sure, actually. You know, insurance is like picking up pennies in front of a bulldozer. You can keep going. It's a good business unless you fall over, and they've been exposed to a bad part of the cycle. I find it very difficult to understand QBE's accounts, and obviously the board does as well, because they need Frank to come back and explain to them
but
what it actually means.
You're always going on about corporate governance and people, you know,
Stay
CEOs hanging around too long, and coming back onto the board and breathing down the new CEO's neck.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, you wouldn't want him to go anywhere else. That's number one, because he would understand exactly where QBE's relative market advantage is. You wouldn't want him bobbing up on the board of IAG. He's not going to go on the REM committee or the audit committee at all, so he doesn't get to sign off on the accounts. Will he be, you know, stifling the CEO for air? Well,
because it would be a bit uncomfortable if you're the new boss and some of the strategies that your predecessor might have put in that you want to fix up, and he's actually sitting next to you. It might be
it's a culture
little bit uncomfortable.
yeah.
Adele, do you think he hung around too long?
I do. There's been a number of executives that have left over the last few years because he was there for 14 years as the CEO, and you know there was a lot of respect. There was a kind of cult at QBE, as you pointed out.
Was this unexpected, this retirement?
Well, it was and it wasn't. Last year there was a lot of speculation that he was going to leave because he had been there he's 65 and he'd been there for a long, long time. And then the chairwoman came out and said, no, he's looking fine, he's fit, he's not going anywhere.
Well, scaring everybody he's going to stay forever.
But he, you know, what the talk that's been going around is that he was telling everyone he was going to stay on for a few more years. And so John Neal wasn't too happy with that and said, you know...
me or him.
Yeah, so they kind of decided on both of them.
Yeah.
He got the job as CEO and Frank's got a board seat.
Yeah, but investors get the chance to vote on that. So if they don't like him, they can kick him off.
But as you know, the voting isn't very impressive, is it?
Can't save shareholders from their own apathy.